Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity beeby dow.
Sorry, I'm on Google Chrome and I must have right-clicked or something because I hit the record button and then a little dictionary thesaurus thing popped up. It's I don't need to know what that means. I just need you to hit play or record.
What does record mean?
But anyways, we're recording. So welcome to Play. What's our podcast called?
American Brews and Tunes.
I was going to call it Welcome to Blink 182 because that's what it says on top of my notes.
I mean, we are reviewing an album by Blink 182 today, but that's not what the podcast is
that
called.
Is not what the podcast is called. This is American Brews and Tunes, and this is episode 118.
118, man. We've been at this for a while.
We have, and we've had a little break in between this episode and the last episode, but we've been busy. We've had illnesses and surgeries, and
a lot of stuff has been going on.
It's been a wild, probably 2 months, but we're back.
Yeah. We're back.
We're back for good.
Ready to talk about Blink and ready to try some good beer.
Yes, we are. In case you didn't already know, if you weren't listening for the past minute and 20 seconds, we're talking about Blink 182 this episode. The album of focus is 2001's Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Yes, that is a pun, but we'll get to that later. Before we delve into that, there's something else we need to talk about.
Yeah, we got to talk about the nectar.
The nectar of the gods?
Nectar of the gods, yeah.
Which is?
Beer.
Wow, that's right.
That's exactly right.
That is exactly right. Beer, the nectar of gods.
Yes.
The nectar of men, too, I guess.
The nectar of women as well.
Yeah, the nectar of...
the nectar of people.
Of people and beasts and gods and everything in between.
People, beasts, gods, ghouls, vampires, zombies.
I mean, I'm dead serious about beasts, too. Did you ever see that?
Homunculi.
Homunculi? Oh, that makes me think of what's the
Full Metal Alchemist.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Where else are you going to hear about a homunculus?
Yeah, true.
Speaking of animes, I'm rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, nice.
I haven't watched that since 2011, so it's been 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But have you watched The Legend of Korra yet?
That's what I was about to say. I've only watched the first season, and I liked it, and then I never watched any more. So I want to watch all of that, but I wanted to rewatch Avatar before going.
Okay, yeah. I actually haven't finished Avatar, but I've heard that it's really good, and I've watched the first 2 seasons.
You got to go. You got to finish it. It's really worth finishing.
Yeah, there are so many shows that I have to watch. Well, let's just keep this tangent going for a second, because there's a show that I started watching today that's really, really funny.
What is it?
Wellington Paranormal.
What's that? What are you watching it on?
It's on HBO or on Hulu.
Ooh.
It's the in the What We Do in the Shadows. It's Taika Waititi again, but it follows the 2 cops. The 2 cops who come to their house and search everything, and they're clueless and dumb.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're so dumb in What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, it follows them, and a bunch of paranormal stuff happens. In the first episode, there's a demon, a demon possesses people and is throwing up all over the place. And they're just oh yeah, she looks kind of looks a little bit sick there. Looks a little bit unwell, huh?
Yeah, she looks a little under the weather.
Yeah, it's a
New Zealand really accent.
Funny. Yeah, it's really funny.
Funny. I got to check that out. I love What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Did you watch the TV show?
Yes. Yeah. We our buddies David and Rachel were over last night, and we watched the beginning of the third season.
Oh snap! Yeah, I've only seen the first season. I got to catch up.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I just think it's what's his name? Colin, the energy vampire.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
I can't remember what his last name is, but yeah, he's hilarious.
What a great show! It's hilarious.
Yeah, anything that he does, Taika Waititi does, is pretty funny.
Yeah, I think he's got another indie film coming out. I don't remember what it is, and then he's doing the next Thor again.
Oh, okay, nice.
So it'll be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Back to the last tangent. about the nectar of people and beasts. Did you know that Busch, the brewery, has a beer for dogs?
What?
Yeah. I don't know anything about it other than it's a beer for dogs. And it's clearly non-alcoholic, so you could probably like order it online.
What? I mean, like, what are is it just like straight up non-alcoholic beer, or do they change the recipe? Or?
I have no idea. I'm about to look it up right now. I'm looking up Busch beer for dogs. And like it does come in a can.
That sounds ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Busch dog brew by Busch, all natural bone broth for dogs.
What? This is ridiculous. So it's not even a beer. It's just bone broth.
But it's in a Busch can.
That's ridiculous. Busch bone broth.
So it's like you're like cracking a cold one with your man's best friend.
Cracking a cold one with your boy.
Yeah.
Your puppy.
Like it's just, I thought it was actual beer. It says dog brew on it, and there's like a bone, and it looks like a Busch can.
Is it gonna be sold in stores or like in pet stores?
Probably. Here's the ingredients. It's bone-in pork butt, whole corn, celery, basil, mint. Oh, and they misspelled turmeric. It's because it's supposed to be spelled as turmeric, right?
Turmeric, yeah.
They spelled it turmeric, T-U-M. Ginger and water.
Huh.
Sounds like a good soup base, though. I could use that as like a soup base.
Turmeric is T-U-R.
Yeah.
M-E-R-I-C.
But they spelled it as turmeric.
Maybe turmeric is a different thing.
In this case, I don't think so. If ginger is the next ingredient, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's definitely not something.
Yeah.
That's just an oversight by their what? I don't know. What do you call them? Their technology team.
It's Busch Brewing. They don't know much about Indian spices. But enough about dog brews. Let's talk about our brew today.
Yeah, let's talk about people brews. About monster brews. Vampire brews.
People brews. This week we have it's always a new beer, obviously, but we've got a new brewery to the podcast.
Yeah, true. I've actually never had a beer by by this brewery.
This brewery is called Dssolvr with no vowels.
Yes.
DSSVLVR.
Yeah.
It's from Asheville, North Carolina, home of like brewery aplenty.
Yeah, seriously though.
I've had 2 double IPAs from them that just kind of popped up randomly in Nashville. I really liked them. They don't have normal distribution here. I wish they did, because from my experiences, I really liked them. But this one is called Nothing But Love, and it's an ESB. And I believe we've never had an ESB on the podcast that I can recall.
Extra special bitter.
Yes. It's
generally a style that you find more in Europe, like in England, or generally like American breweries don't have this as like a staple. So I'm not sure if this was like a one-off or if it was
like, it's kind of like I'd classify this as like a pub ale. And like I know they've got bitters, they've got milds, and they've got ESBs, and they all kind of classify under the same thing.
Yep.
And this one I would expect to be more bitter because it's an extra special bitter. But it's clocking in at a whopping 0 IBUs.
At least that's what Untappd says.
Yeah, I believe
so. I mean, I would assume that there's going to be at least a little bitterness in here, right?
I would hope so.
That might be. Maybe it's a glitch. I mean, they're only about 300 people have checked it in, so
I mean, it could be a glitch.
It could be.
Do you want me to read this really long thing on Untappd where they talk about the details?
Yes.
All right.
I do.
I'll try to read quickly because it's long.
Okay.
We revived an old recipe, and we're very excited to reintroduce the world to Nothing But Love, another love letter to the magnificent style that is ESB. The first time we released this, almost a year ago. If it's almost a year ago, it's not that old of a recipe. But anyways, we brewed it on the pilot system as a one-off that ended up falling in love with.
Okay, as a one-off.
Yeah, so like if you're unfamiliar with breweries, a pilot system is made for small batches that probably was only available at the brewery. Like they didn't distribute or can it or anything. We originally brewed this beer with an overly complex blend of 100% English malts and pummeled it with an absurd amount of Fuggles and East Kent Golding in the whirlpool. Those are our hops.
Okay. How is that one spelled? Did you say Fuggles?
Yes, Fuggles. Fuggles.
Fuggles. Oh, those silly muggles always playing with their fuggles.
That is a hop. I know that because I've seen that before. Muggles and
gosh.
Fuggles. Oh, man.
Oh, my.
This time around, we switched the base malt to, and then they added somebody. It says at Riverbend Malt Southern Select, which imitates Golden Promise. I don't know what that means.
Golden Promise must be another malt.
It must be.
Maybe one more prevalent in England or something.
I guess. I don't know. They're talking to us like we know things. Slightly increased the specialty malts and bumped up the body and bitterness for a tad more balance. We still absolutely demolished this almost I don't know what that means. It's numbers and something in the whirlpool with Fuggles and East Kent Golding. So don't worry. Last paragraph here. The result is significantly more in line with true ESB, and we're very happy about that. Rich, malty, and hoppy in a very English way.
All right.
Ultimately, very sessionable. It is 4% for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's quite light.
So you can have a ton of these at the pub or at your house. Who knows? It's in a can. Big notes of freshly toasted biscuits, drizzled in orange marmalade, a fresh cup of English breakfast tea, and an absolute face full of honeysuckle. All right. All right. Now, nothing that I want more on the face than honeysuckle.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm kind of excited to try this now.
I do like the can. It kind of looks like cotton candy clouds.
It's
like
real weird.
Blue and pink. And then there's
that
fuzzy heart with an eye in the middle.
Yeah. Really. Yeah. A very fuzzy heart with an eye. And then it's above the state of North Carolina.
Yeah. But let's say we crack this and give it a pour.
Yeah. Let's.
Yes. Let's. Ooh, it's foamy. Maybe I shook the can up a little bit.
Nah, mine was foamy as well.
Well, that's not a problem. It wasn't like as foamy as like sometimes when we have those like Belgian, and sometimes some of the weird Belgian style beers don't really sit well in bottles and they overly carbonate and they kind of like explode when you open them. Yeah. Not this one though.
Yeah, this one opened pretty well. Pretty excited to try it.
Nice little orangish,
as I'm smelling it,
like a dark orange amber color, like a darker lager, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, almost. It reminds me of like if you know what Fat Tire looks like. It kind of reminds me of that, like that same type of color.
Spot on. Yeah, definitely good descriptors of this beer. It's got a nice little regular colored head. I don't really think it's like a dark colored head.
It seems more like of a. I don't know. Maybe a little. I guess maybe it's just because it's against the darker body of the beer, but it's a little bit lighter. It almost seems lighter to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
But let's see what it smells like.
It's not super
aggressive. Getting a lot of decent smells though. Honestly,
I mean, it smells like a lager, even though it's an ale. It just kind of smells like a crisp, clean lager to me.
Yeah, getting a little bit of those toasty notes on the nose as well.
Good malty smells.
Yep.
Yeah, biscuity, I guess is what they say.
Biscuity, yes.
Shall we?
Because they're from England.
Shall we go ahead and give it a try?
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Well, as we always say here on American Brews and Tunes, clink down the hatch. Well, I definitely don't think it's 0 IBUs.
No, it's definitely not 0. That's for sure.
But it's not aggressive.
I actually really like this.
I do too, and it's definitely hoppier than like a standard lager or something you'd expect to find down at the pub.
Down at the pub
with your mates.
Yeah, I definitely get those like biscuity notes they were talking about, and I definitely taste like the almost like butterscotch or
butterscotch
caramel,
for sure.
Like caramel flavor that's in there. It's real subtle.
What about the honeysuckle in your face? Do you feel that?
That actually might contribute to the butterscotch flavor.
Yeah.
And it kind of sits. It sits in a really nice place on the palate as well. It like sits kind of like right behind the breadiness.
Yeah,
it's not too overpronounced.
No, not at all. It's got a nice malty breadiness. It's sweet, but it is balanced. It's nice.
Yeah,
it's a good beer. I like this.
Well, this is my first beer from Dssolvr, and I'm a fan.
Well, I'm already a fan. This just really confirms it for me.
It's definitely sessionable, like they said.
Yes. It doesn't taste like it's 4%. I like, if I had this, I'd say
it tastes more like 5 or 5.5 or 6.
Yeah, because 4 is a little low for a regular beer, like not a light beer.
Yeah.
But I expect it to sit anywhere between 5 and 6. Yeah, but super good beer.
Yeah.
I don't really think it's going to change too much as it warms up, but if it does, we'll let you know.
Yeah, the only thing that I could think that would maybe become more pronounced is it might get a little bit...
the fuggles might pop through.
The fuggles might pop through more, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it might get a little bit more toasty and a little bit more sweet as it warms up.
Yes, I could see that.
We'll see if I'm right.
Yeah. But anyways, let's delve on to the music, shall we?
We shall.
All right. Like I said before, we're reviewing an album from the best band on earth, Blink-182.
Oh, yeah.
This is their 5th studio album.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because they had Dude Ranch, Cheshire Cat,
Buddha, Enema of the State.
Right.
So that's 4, and this is 5.
Yeah.
And this is Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. Obviously, I said that before. It was released in 2001 on June 12th. So a proper late spring album.
Yeah, when is it technically summer?
I think it's July is when summer starts.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Because it's July, August, and September are the summer months.
Huh.
Right? And March, April, May.
When?
Or maybe it's June. Is summer.
I feel like it's June, right?
It's got to be June. I don't know. Let's just say it's June. We're probably wrong. We're maybe right. Who knows?
It's June 21st. I just looked it up.
That's what it is. So a proper early summer album, as I say.
Yes.
And this is riding on the overwhelming success that was Enema of the State.
Yes.
Huge album
Massive
for them.
Success.
Millions and millions of copies sold. And there was a lot of pressure on the band to follow up.
Right.
Yeah, so like Blink's management and the label really, really wanted another album that sounded just like Enema of the State. And apparently Blink-182 felt like they were in a corner, like songwriting-wise.
Right.
As you would. I mean, that makes sense.
Right. I mean, like, as a band, you always kind of want to try to evolve your sound slowly, right? Like, not a huge, massive change right away, but at least evolve it a little bit.
And it's kind of a thing in the music industry about like the sophomore slump. And that's doesn't apply to them because this is not their second album, but that's usually when a band has like a really successful first album and then they have to follow it up. But again, not the case here because this is their 5th album. They're a seasoned band at this point. They've been around for 7 or 8 years at this point.
Yeah.
And they, I guess, and I've read this from plenty of sources, they felt that they were inspired to write they were inspired by post-hardcore bands like Fugazi and Refused, and they wanted to write a darker, heavier album. I agree.
Is that what they were saying about this album? About Take Off Your Pants and Jacket?
Yes, and I agree only slightly in comparison to Enema of the State, but I wouldn't say that this is dark or angry.
I feel like maybe they were warming up to the self-titled or untitled. Or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's an angsty album, but it's not like post-hardcore for sure.
Like you can definitely tell that it changed from Enema of the State, though.
Oh, for sure, you can definitely check.
Like there are slight differences, but definitely nothing as drastic as saying that like this was heavily inspired by like a post-hardcore bands.
Yeah, I can't hear any Fugazi that much in here.
No, it still sounds like Blink.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's one of the main complaints that people had was it sounded too similar to Enema of the State.
I do not have a problem with that.
Oh, me neither. I love the sound.
I think their sound is a classic, and now that we are both 30, Yes, it is definitely a classic, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. This album came out 20 years ago this year, so
Wow.
there you go. It's
Crazy.
Qualified for a classic. How is Blink-182 not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I ask you?
Yeah, isn't that what cars too? Like for it to be considered a vintage car, it has to be at least that old.
Something along those lines. I don't remember the specific.
Maybe not. It might be more. It might be
something
like
30,
that.
But anyways, when their manager Rick DeVoe, in case you were curious,
DeVoe,
when he heard the demos, he liked them a lot, but he mentioned that it was missing the big Blink summer anthem, and he wanted them to like write one of those. And so, out of spite, Mark and Tom both went into separate writing rooms, and they came back within like 15, 20 minutes with The Rock Show and First Date. So those two songs were written out of spite because they were like, here's your summer anthem hit.
That is hilarious. And like First Date is one of their biggest songs.
Yeah, both of those songs are like huge top 10 singles. So the joke's on them, I guess. I don't know.
They're like, fine, we'll write you a classic Blink-182 song.
But it worked.
Yeah, it worked. And those songs are good.
Yeah. On another funny note, label reps were visiting from time to time on the recording sessions, and they wanted to hear the progress. So Blink-182 presented them with 3 acoustic songs, and they were these super vulgar, potty mouth, like just acoustic terrible songs that were just hilarious. But they were just trying to screw with them, but it worked. And those 3 songs went on to be some of the bonus tracks, which I'll talk about later. But hilarious, horrible, and hilarious.
Yes.
This will be the first Blink-182 album to be released and debut at number 1 on the Billboard Top 200.
Huh, wow.
Not their last, though, because what's the album? California debuted at number 1.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe no other ones did. What's wrong with Billboard? Jeez.
What's wrong with people, Steve?
Yeah, that's the main question. But this album is certified 2 times platinum in the U.S. with over 14 million sold worldwide. Wow.
Dang. All right.
Yeah, super well received album. Used to be my favorite album growing up. I'm not so sure that it is now. Well, it definitely isn't anymore, but I still love it nonetheless.
Yeah.
A lot of their other albums have taken precedent, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we dive into the tracks?
Let's do it, man.
I've got 3 recommendations and 1 honorable mention. If you've never listened to us before, the reason I do this is because if for some reason you've never heard this and you want to just get a little taste, these are what I'd say go for.
Yeah, for sure.
And the first song is one of my recommendations.
Okay.
It's called Anthem Part 2.
Anthem Part 2.
Literally Part 2 because Enema of the State ends on the song Anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you've ever listened to that song, Anthem's about like having a home concert / house party when the parents are away and getting into all kind of shenanigans. This song, however, is it is about like youth rebellion, but it's more against like authority figures, like the government and establishment, I guess, in a very juvenile way.
Mm-hmm.
Like kids can't vote, adults elect them.
Yeah.
Like what? How long? You're probably like 26 at this point, man. But aside from that, I love this song. The intro and build up is really, really cool.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, just starts off with that little guitar. It's not an arpeggio. I don't know what you call it. Yeah. And they add a drum part and a bass part and then another guitar part. And it's just really cool build up. I think that's part of Tom DeLonge eventually goes in to make more instrumental things with Angels and Airwaves and some of the later Blink albums. I think this is kind of the start of that.
I will say that I really like the guitar tone in this song quite a bit.
Oh, it's such a good guitar tone.
And honestly, just like through the entire album too, I really like the choices they made for the guitar parts in this album. Yeah,
and I think that's true of Enema of the State, this album, and the Untitled album, and I think that's because Jerry Finn produced it.
Yeah,
and from interviews and stuff I've read, apparently he spent so much time dialing in tone, like to the point, like I guess for reference, Travis Barker talks about it in his book that he hated recording with Jerry because they would spend hours getting the tone right on every single drum mic. And Travis was like,
Wow.
let me play it, man. Let me play it. And he's like,
Dang.
no, we got to dial in each drum perfectly.
We got to get it right.
So I think he spent a lot of time making sure everything was spot on perfect.
Yeah. Well, it definitely shows.
Yeah, it shows. For sure. My favorite part on this song, Anthem Part 2, though, is the drumming on the first half of each verse because it's insane. I think he hits every drum on his kit. Yeah. It's a wild, wild song to play on the drums. If you're ever curious, watch a YouTube cover of it just so you can see what somebody has to do in order to play it. Really cool. Really. It's on par with like Blink-182 openers. I think they, along with every band, tries to make something memorable to open an album with. And
yeah, for sure.
Definitely not an exception. It fits in with that.
Yeah, this definitely works out for that, like in that respect.
Yeesh. Moving on to track number 2, which is my honorable mention. This is Online Songs.
All right.
Somewhat like spiritual sequel to Josie.
Yeah.
Because he says Josie.
He says, Josie, you're mine.
Yeah, so it's got to be that girl from the Dude Ranch album.
Yeah, for sure.
But this song is probably the fastest song on the album and one of their faster songs in general. Mm-hmm. The drums are so fast. It's ridiculous. Super catchy, but they definitely dated themselves in the song because they're talking about like AOL screen names and stuff. The youth of today has no idea what AOL screen names or AIM is. For sure. AIM.
I mean, like I hardly used AIM as well.
I used it in middle school.
That was like during the time when like we didn't even have internet still. I don't think we did at that point.
I had one and my screen name was Green Pigs 113.
Green Pigs.
Yep.
Nice.
That's where I learned all of my internet abbreviations like BRB and LOL. The first time I saw someone say BRB, I was like, "Are they burping over there? What the heck's going on?" It was a weird time for me.
Not be right back, man.
Yeah, AIM though, but this is a great song. Time. Lots of na, so it's classic Blink.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's never been played live, ever.
Really?
I don't know why. I think they could, but maybe they never will. Who knows?
That'd be sweet if they played it live. It's a good song.
Oh, I'd love to hear it live. Super good song. Moving on to track number 3 is First Date. Yeah, super iconic song. I'm sure you've all heard it, but if you haven't, go listen. Just
honestly, like even if you weren't conscious of it, you probably heard it like in a grocery store or something like that. In a grocery store.
It's been in several movies and TV shows, all over the radio. Probably still. Very, very iconic song. And it's one of the few songs that you can tell what song it is from the drum fill at the beginning. Because the drums come in by itself for that. Yeah. And it's like leave it to Travis Barker to create one of those things because it's hard to create an iconic drum fill.
Yeah,
like Phil Collins did it in The Air Tonight. Yeah, everybody knows that. Yeah. And there's maybe a couple other that I can't think of any off the top of my head, but this one's definitely maybe not the same level as
boom.
Yes, absolutely.
We Will Rock You.
Maybe not in the same level as those two songs, but close. Like you get the idea.
Yeah. Right.
Super big chorus on this one. And I love the palm muting on the bridge. I think that gets you a good idea of the guitar tone, like you were talking about earlier. It's got that really, like it's like a chunky but so clean. Like the guitar tone's just like impeccable.
Yeah,
hard to describe unless you hear it.
I really like the drums on the verses where he does that thing with the hi-hat where it's like ta ta. Yeah, it's like it's just timed really well, and it's like it's so I don't know, it's like brings another layer to the verses that it definitely needs.
Because he's not going crazy, but it's this nice little embellishment that just helps.
Yeah, exactly.
Like bring the song to the next level.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. The nice little embellishment.
Yeah, but the best thing about this song, if you ask me, is the music video.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's absurd. They're all just like walking around during the 70s, and they've all got these crazy costumes, and they're just getting up to all kind of hijinks. It's the best. If you've never seen it, go to YouTube and watch it. It's the best music video I've ever seen, hands down. Moving on to track number 4, which is the shortest song on the album. This is called "Happy Holidays, You Bastard."
Yeah, this is The song is one of the joke songs.
Yep.
One of the funny songs that is actually super Galdern catchy. Like
it's so fast.
It's so good.
Yeah. When I had this album growing up, I had the edited version.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so it was essentially an instrumental in the very end, until the very end when they says, "I'll never talk to you again."
Oh, really?
Yep.
There's nothing else in the edited version that's so funny.
Nope, just instruments until then. It's so funny. But it's all like curses and funny jokes. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just a really funny song about all kind of holidays. Literally, they talk about Christmas and Labor Day and all kind of stuff. There's lots of good hot dog
talking
jokes.
About grandparents, talking about other things happening.
Yeah. If you don't like holidays, you'll like this. They play this one live all the time.
Oh yeah, easy song to play live, just real quick.
Yeah. Moving on to track number 5. The song's called "Story of a Lonely Guy."
Yeah,
and it's the first really quote unquote different song, I'd say.
Yeah, it's almost like a song that foreshadows what Tom DeLonge really wants to do.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's not really a pop punk song, I'd say.
Yeah, it's more like
but it is, if that makes sense.
It definitely is, but it has more of a feel of not really like a ballad, but like
adult contemporary alt rock, maybe.
Yeah, or like a slower. It has a lot of like 80s vibes too.
Yes. And it's got that shimmery, clean tone, like not chorusy, but it's a different clean tone than like not necessarily like "Come As You Are" from Nirvana, if you can think of that guitar tone, but in that vein almost.
Yeah,
the chorus is so good. I love it.
I very much like this song. Oh, yeah. I'm just a fan of the way Tom DeLonge writes songs, to be honest.
I am. And there's like it's not na-na-na-na-nas, it's da-da-da-da-das.
Da-da-da-da-das, yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, it's such a good song. Yeah. I love this one. It's
really is.
A guy who's just a stupid boy.
Yeah.
But moving on to track number 6, this is "The Rock Show."
The Rock Show.
Another massive single. And it's the one written by Mark, whereas First Date was written by Tom, the ones that they both wrote out of spite. It's a story of a guy and a girl who fell in love at the rock show, literally.
Yep.
I love the chorus because the call and response.
Yeah.
She said what? And I told her that I didn't know. He said, great chorus. Super iconic.
It's really funny. Like whenever I think about that chorus, I think to myself, man, like that's so simple and so easy. Like, but it's so Galdern catchy at the same time.
It's very simple. I don't like it. It's a clear case of like the first idea is the best idea. Like that popped into his head and it worked, and it's unique and iconic.
Yeah, definitely.
The best version I've ever heard of this song is there's one particular live one you can find online. If you look up the Rock Show live at the Pepsi Smash, I don't know what this concert was, but like they play it way too fast. Travis does crazy halftime and quarter times in the chorus. But there is 100% like an Angels and Airwavesy bridge. Like they turn what's normally like a 15-second instrumental bridge into like a 2-minute bridge. Super cool. But that's check funny. It out and you'll like it.
Was a quick side note.
Yeah.
I was listening to some of the new Angels and Airwaves, and there were still some bridges that were just instrumentals.
That's classic Blink. That's why if you notice on the new Blink stuff, they're starting to have instrumental like bridges with words. Yeah. And I think that's because like they've got co-writers and John Feldman's producing. But Tom DeLonge's producing his own stuff, so instrumental bridges.
It's still the same. Yep.
I like the new album though, man.
I can't remember which song it was specifically, but whenever the bridge came up, I was like, all right, yep, instrumental, this is great. Like classic Tom. And then after the bridge, I was like, you know what, that was a pretty good bridge. Like I still liked it.
Like that's the thing though. He makes a bridge that's instrumental, but it goes somewhere that's interesting or unique enough. Like the bridge in First Date or the bridge in the Rock Show where it's before he gets to the black pictures of her on my wall. There's a cool like guitar part. Like, it's interesting. It's unique.
It's just simple enough to keep your attention for the slight little time that they're in the bridge before getting back to the chorus.
Exactly. The music video on this one's also worth checking out if you've never done it.
Yeah.
They get the beginning starts out with like someone has a handheld camera and they show Mark walking away with like a tens of thousands dollar check from the record label to make a music video.
Yeah.
And they cash it and they just spend the money in ridiculous ways. Good video.
Nice.
Switching gears, track number 7 is called "Stay Together for the Kids," and this is
this is more my speed.
I like ballady, anthemy.
I like this song a lot.
Another huge single, much more slower and somber. It's about Tom's parents getting a divorce.
Yeah.
But this one apparently was Tom trying to explore like volume dynamics. And I can't remember what interview, but he says in the chorus, I just turn on all my guitar pedals. I think he's definitely oversimplifying it, but
yeah, 100%.
They're just getting.
Like, I get it though. Like when you hear that explanation from him, and then you hear the chorus, it makes a lot of sense though.
It's an explosive chorus,
way bigger. Just like it just goes boom and just explodes like out of nowhere.
And the guitar line in the verses is really, really pretty iconic and good too. And another instrumental bridge again. But really good.
I also like the how Mark takes the verses and then Tom takes like the lead on the choruses.
Yeah, I like how they do that. Definitely.
Yeah. It plays to the strength of both of their voices. Like Mark has a good like lower register and Tom has a really good higher register.
Yeah.
So
the music video was filmed September 9th and 10th in 2001. And I think they halted filming on the 11th.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And a lot of the shots were of them playing in a house that was being demolished and destroyed. Oh, wow. So they switched the music video away from the demolishing to something else. I can't remember, but you can still find the other video too. They've got both versions, but they didn't put out the building collapsing, obviously.
For obvious reasons. Yeah. For sure.
But if you look it up, you can find it. It's not that difficult. Moving on to track number 8. This is Roller Coaster.
My least favorite song on the album.
Oh, I love this song.
It's good, but it just I don't know. It just doesn't really feel like there's any context to the song, and it's like
if you had to pick a filler song, I'd say
just like a filler
this is probably
song. Yeah. I still like it, but it definitely feels like filler to me.
Yeah, I can see that. From an interview, Mark said this was a dream about him, like early on in his relationship with his then girlfriend, now wife, that things weren't going to work out or something like that. So he was really scared in the dream, I guess. I don't know.
Huh.
But super catchy song.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I love the bridge in the like the drum beat. It goes halftime, and it just gets like really big. Super good. Nice phasing guitars. But the next song is a more popular song, I'd say for sure. Track number 9 is "Reckless Abandon."
Yeah, I like this song a lot.
Yeah, they play this one live all the time.
It just starts off with that weird like radio voice sound.
Yeah,
almost
like he's just playing a guitar in the room that's not mic'd or played on the amp, like a unplugged acoustic electric guitar, almost. But it's in the way that Anthem Part 2 is supposed to be a sequel to Anthem Part 1 or just Anthem. I'd say this is more of a sequel to the first Anthem thematically because it's kind of like about being like at a party and going through crazy shenanigans.
Right, yeah.
Lots of alcohol and drugs and disregarding consequences.
Right.
With reckless abandon, I guess.
Yeah, reckless abandon. Just go for it.
Yeah. Super catchy. I don't think it's that deep of a song.
No, definitely not. I mean,
probably reminiscing about the crazy things they did.
Yeah, just from the chorus, the first line is "on and on, reckless abandon." And
the last line is "We left a scar size extra large."
Yeah, size extra large.
Good song. I really enjoy that one.
Yeah, very good song.
But I like the next song much more. Track number 10.
Same here. This is
my next
Mark's
recommendation.
This is like Mark's version of a later on Blink song.
Yes,
I think.
Yes. The song's called "Every Time I Look for You," and it's one of the few songs where they get to trade off lyrics in the verse.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like "Pathetic" from Dude Ranch. And there's not many of them. But when they do it, it really like clicks because their voices are so nicely juxtaposed.
Yeah, definitely. It works out well. It it almost sounds like the verse should be sung like that, and it shouldn't be sung by one person.
Agreed. It just like I can't imagine not having two people doing it. It's
Yeah, for sure.
The bridge is dope in this song. Because it gets in that super big like do 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 do, and the drums come in half time, and Mark's like, I never did quite understand what she meant.
Oh yeah,
super big.
That is a great bridge.
Great bridge, and there's lyrics in it because Mark did it.
Actual lyrics because Mark did it. Yeah, Mark did it. Yep.
One of my favorite songs on the album for sure.
Yeah, it definitely is one of my favorites. But the next song is my favorite song on the album.
Yeah. Track number 11 is "Give Me One Good Reason."
Yep,
it's an oddball like rhythm and structure in this song.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guitar lick, that do 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 do. It's
yeah. I just love the I guess palm muting that before the verse starts.
Yes, that part's great. Another clear indicator of the great guitar tones.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then he says, "Oh yeah."
It's like a weird feel in the verse. Like it's just so strange, and then they bring it together for the chorus.
Yeah, oh, it's so good, man. Yeah. So like the verses are kind of like he lyrically like sings faster, and then in the verse he like half times the melody.
Yes,
and it sounds so good.
Super good song. Not my favorite as it is yours, but I still love it nonetheless. Track number 12.
It's definitely just one of my favorites.
Moving on, however, is my last recommendation.
Okay.
This song is called "Shut Up."
Shut Up.
So simple. But this song is lots of curses, just like Happy Holidays. But it's not a joke song. This song is about like a couple that's having some brutal arguments, like probably the dissolution of a relationship, if I had to guess. I agree. Drums like sound very processed, almost programmed, but I'm fairly certain that they just put an effect on Travis's kit.
Yeah, it seems like the same effect might have been used over everything.
Yeah,
like the entire drum kit, just for the verses, I guess.
Because it is kind of like tucked away, almost like put on the back burner. The drums are, as this pseudo argument unfolds.
Yeah,
and but my favorite part is the chorus because it's just so gosh darn catchy, and the drums are kind of bonkers. Like I don't know what Travis is doing. He's hitting all kind of weird things. Yeah, but it fits so well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
just really, like in the last song, honestly, it almost seems like a play on dynamics as well. Like the verses are fairly quiet.
Oh yeah,
and then the choruses are bigger and louder.
Yeah, just it's like the last song and this one are just like odd songs to have on the album. I'd say.
The last song,
"Give Me One Good Reason" and "Shut Up" are just both like kind of like odd songs, but they fit so well.
Yeah, definitely.
But moving on to the final song on the album, track 13 is "Please Take Me Home."
Please take me home.
The intro guitar sounds like maybe you could get some post-hardcore vibes, I guess.
Well, it seems like it sounds like more like their Untitled album.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Like it's like this is definitely the transition album between what they said they were doing on this album and when they actually did it.
Yes. They're getting there slowly.
Yeah.
I need to do Boxcar Racer first.
Yeah, right.
This song's about kind of like either being friend zoned or a failing relationship. You can kind of read it a bunch of different ways. But lots of people could probably relate to this in some aspect or another. The bridge is weird on this one. It starts off with that guitar that's kind of like plucked do 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 do, and it's bouncy. Why did we have to go date?
Yeah,
and that part of me was like, this is weird. Like, why is this happening? But then he comes back with the "Be Strong When Things Fall Apart," and then Mark echoes it, and I was like, oh, this is well worth waiting through the weird.
Yeah.
Well worth the weird part that just happened.
Yeah,
it paid off big time.
Yeah.
And I end up loving the bridge. It's great closer to the record, I'd say.
It's almost like they peppered in the like the direction they're trying to go as a band.
Yeah.
It's like they peppered in little parts in all these songs that kind of like got their audience ready almost.
Yeah, I'd say so. And if you were even wanting more of a bridge, like I said, the Boxcar Racer album is 100% a bridge between this and the Untitled album.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of bonus tracks, I'm not going to actually talk about them specifically, but there were 6. They released...
I didn't know there were 6.
3 different variations on this album. The Takeoff version, the Pants version, and the Jacket version.
Oh, okay.
Each one of them had 2. They each had one of the acoustic joke tracks and one actual recording. So the joke tracks were goofy, but the actual recordings were like fully produced, album-ready songs that just didn't make the cut. All worth listening to and looking into if you're curious.
Do they have like all those extra songs on one album?
No.
Okay. I'll bet someone made a playlist on Spotify of literally just those.
Not on Spotify.
Oh, it's not on Spotify.
You gotta find them on YouTube, probably.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dang.
or have the CDs. But the 3 serious songs were called "Time to Break Up," "What Went Wrong," and what's the other one? And another song that I'm. Don't Tell Me That It's Over. That's what it is.
Okay.
All good songs. Which, when you listen to them, it makes sense, I guess, in ways that they didn't make the album. But you could probably hear them being on the album if you
right.
All in all, a great album.
Yeah, I think so too.
I still like Enema of the State and the Untitled albums better. But I don't know. This is still one of my favorite albums of all time. It's Blink-182. Let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real here.
Yeah.
If I had to give it a ranking between those 3, I think Untitled album would be my top, and then Take Off Your Pants and Jacket and Enema of the State would be like neck and neck, pretty much. With Enema of the State slightly above Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
So that might be the same boat as me then. I don't know.
Yeah, but I still really like this album though quite a bit.
I do too. I do too. It holds a very special place in my heart. When I listen to this, like, you know how like when you hear a specific album that you maybe listen to a lot at one point in time in your life, you think of that time.
Yep.
I think of this in the 7th grade, riding bus 110, Bob the bus driver. Because Mount Nebo Road was under construction, and we had to go take Crawford and all these other side roads where a school bus shouldn't be driving. It was these narrow, like, backwoods roads that I was taking to get to my school, and I had this CD on, and I just think of that sitting on the bus.
Oh, wow.
With my non-skip portable Discman CD player.
Awesome.
And I was like, this album's great.
Wow, this is so cool, man.
Blink-182 says lots of curse words. Even though at that point in time I was listening to the edited one.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Love the album.
Yeah, agreed.
Shall we go on to the beer?
Yeah, let's give closing thoughts on the beer.
What are you thinking now that it's warmed up quite a bit?
I think my initial guess of like the toastiness coming through wasn't really true. But the sweetness from like the caramel or butterscotch is definitely coming through more, I think.
I definitely think it's more caramely, based solely on the malts. It's definitely coming through. Not in a bad way though. I still like this quite a bit as it warmed up. I
could definitely see myself in a pub in England, knocking back a few of these, watching the football match.
Watching a little footy.
Watching some footy or maybe some rugby. On the telly at the pub.
With me mates at the pub. Having a wee little bit of fish and chips.
Jeez.
And some biscuits and some crisps.
Biscuits, definitely some biscuits in this beer, that's for sure.
Get me some Dorito crisps.
Some Dorito crisps.
Did I say that? I don't know. Potato crisps.
Are those crisps or are those chips?
Oh, they're crisps over in England.
They have to be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't have to. Who knows? Maybe Doritos are their own thing. I don't know. They're corn crisps.
Corn crisps. With nacho flavoring on them.
Nacho. Apparently ranch isn't like a super well-known thing, and so a lot of foreign countries will have like Cool Ranch, but they'll call it like American flavor.
American flavor? Okay, yeah.
It's so weird.
That's pretty funny.
But that makes sense. Ranch is super American.
Yeah, it for sure is. We put it on everything over here.
Oh, it's so goofy.
Especially down in the South.
Okay. Yes. Well, I did it in the North too, but I think in the South they definitely do.
Yeah.
Anyways, looking forward to next week. Who knows what we'll have? Probably another one-off. Maybe the new Switchfoot album. I don't know.
True. I if we do that, I'll have to listen to it nonstop.
Yeah, same here. I've listened to it several times, but I need to dive in for a deep dive. But I like it, so I think that'll be an easy deep dive.
Yeah, I've liked quite a few of the songs on it. I think I listened to it like 2 times, maybe.
So maybe something else. I don't know. We'll do the Angels and Airwaves one at some point. Probably
we'll figure something out.
Maybe
it'll be a mini episode where we just talk about something for like 15 minutes. Who knows?
Maybe we'll know before you do, but you'll know eventually.
Yes.
Anyways, let's say that we finish this brew.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, as we always say on American Brews and Tunes,
clink.
I forgot to say down the hatch, but down the hatch it went.
Down the hatch it went, yes.
It was too good. I was excited.
Really tasty beer, man.
Yeah. I got to find more Dssolvr stuff.
If you guys are in the North Carolina area, definitely try Dssolvr.
Definitely.
Pretty tasty.
Once again, my name is Stephen Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus. Actually, I don't think we said that at the beginning of the episode. We didn't,
but we were having a weird beginning.
A weird long tangent, which we're having as well right now. My name is Jesse Titus.
This is American Brews and Tunes. Tangents.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby-da.